All right, let's do this. We got a 27 player here. Yeah, table 1. So we'll see how this goes. We've got a 9-player tournament starting. I filmed earlier, but I lost like 3 times. And who wants to put that on social media? I don't want to show them being a loser. I want you to fear me. I want you to fear my button raise with ace, queen, offsuit. Raise it up. Let's do this. I have tea and infinite patience. 2 callers. Ooh. All right, so they lead out with a $40 or 40 chip kind of in your face. Do I want to call 2 players? I'll call once, and then if I don't hit anything, I'm gone. Because I have no information on this guy, no information what he's playing with, no information on whether he got his 2. And this is the situation. I'm just going to lose 40 chips. It's not that big a deal. I could call, catch an ace, and if I catch the ace, I'm ahead. I have no idea. I'm going to let it go. This is where I've got to figure out, and I'm going to continue watching Lex's video to be able to understand continuation bets. These guys are so loose. There are times where they could literally have any 2. Like what the guy has is 2 cards. Oh, I take that back. This is actually a 9-player tournament. The 27-player tournament hasn't started yet. I absolutely love what I do. Love what I teach. Can't wait to put up the chat screen here so I can do consults with students while I play poker. That will be absolutely hilarious if I'm able to do that. Oh, it's on both screens. Oh, we'll add it later. That might have been nice. However, what if they have an ace of diamonds in their ornery? So yeah, I had a choice. I could have put the play earlier, but I was like, did anything significant happen? It's like, nah, I just went out on 3 different little dollar tournaments, really about long-term bankroll management and building. I really want to document the process of becoming a better player, and I'll get to go back and watch these later and go, what? what the fuck are you doing? Why were you betting? That's dumb. What are you doing? You're giving a guy every reason to call you and crack you because you're betting the wrong size. You're making horrible mistakes that are costing you money. Did a consult with a colleague in Houston. Very excited about that. Another yoga teacher, massage therapist, really understands the work. Super excited about that. Once I run a time massage jam, I'll keep in touch with you guys about that as that comes out. Then had a conversation with another colleague who's thinking about potentially moving to Austin, which would be really interesting. Snoopy, Snoopy. Come home, Snoopy, come home. This is one of my favorite items, by the way. I got this when I was in college, I think, for $0.25 at a thrift store. I'm like, a Snoopy cup? Are you kidding me? $0.25? This is mine now. This is a family heirloom. I did a coffee review earlier. Oh, how I wish I had played the hand that nobody wants to play. King 9 offsuit. The reason King 9 offsuit is considered such a bad hand is it's not ace high and it doesn't connect to a straight. Statistically, it's not extremely good. A lot of action. A lot of action. Oh, yes. Now, who's going to lie? Very aggressive. He got it and he put his foot down. Not super excited about this, but we'll see if we can see a flop cheaply. The blinds are still real small at a full table. I'm just kind of testing the edges for what's going on. Like if somebody does a big re-raise, I'm just going to fold. I'm not going to protect my king jack suited. One of the things about the loose ace, the ace XX board, ace X rainbow on the board, is you never know at any given moment when somebody calls with an ace at these tables. Guys can have ace 2 offsuit and think that's plenty strong enough for a raise at these boards, especially early on. If I raise with a pair of kings and an ace hits at the flop, it doesn't mean I don't bet after the flop, but I'm very cautious. And oh, how I hope I hit a 6. Oh, and I'm going to bet half the pot. Oh, it's going to be glorious. Now, I'm still going to go half the pot. I'm trying to be cautious here. I did raise. I do not want to see another diamond. I would like to see a 3. Though a 6 at the turn would be nice. Now, let's see. Do I want to bet? I don't want to bet quite that much. I'm going to back it down just a little bit. There we go. I'm not sure that makes a big difference. I'm just trying to not put all my chips in, and you'll see that he flat called. So I've not been aggressive. I keep betting. 2 kings on the board, no flush draws. I'm just going to check here, and this may be a weak spot. He may bet, say he's got a king, jam it in. I'm not going to call with it. There are other ways of playing this. My challenge is, I mean, what if he's got a pair of 7s? And we are being speculative. I'm not trying to lose a huge section of my stack too early in the tournament. And what do you have, a big air ball with his ace queen? Calling a guy's bluff is harder when you don't know anything about the guy and you haven't seen his game and you haven't seen him play. You got no information to go on. Though this guy's call with that ace queen makes more sense. For him to keep calling those small bets makes a little bit more sense. Am I good enough currently to think that's what he called with? I have no idea what he was holding. Also hard to put him on a range. Part of the way I play is you try to lose the small pots, win the big ones. You know, when do you want to be involved in like a five-handed pot? Because it's a sure way to get queen, queen to ace, ace cracked. Drawing hands. If I had 3-4 suited on the button, maybe. But now what? Because this guy has Jack 10 of hearts. One more player in the 27-player tournament for $2. Ooh, big money. Big money. Can't take risks. Is coming up. See, this shit, this min bet, it gets confusing to me. And then I almost wish I could replay that hand to see, like, how did you wind it with ace jack? He didn't fold? I mean, not fold. He didn't just like raise that at all? I'm wondering if this guy regularly plays decent cards by limping. Let's get ready to rumble. Do you know how excited I was that I streamed for the first time and took first and the second place? I was like, yes, I'm a gangster. I am a force to be reckoned with. I was so excited. I was so happy with myself. Now it's a matter of grinding and building a bankroll, seeing just how far we can actually take things. That will be a fold, sir. To show you the excitement, I folded 2-6 over here. This is what I got to figure out with social media. So one, I can show the full tournament if I win. Do I want to show a full tournament if I lose? I don't know. I got to figure out what to do in regards to this. Also, there's times where you can cut like clips of various hands, which I think would be good instruction for students. Then I can do like YouTube tutorials on like body work and put this down in the corner and show me busting out with a pair of twos. Like, don't ever do this. You're supplementing your social media in various ways. See, this 2 times the big blind stuff, I suspect for a lot of them, it's more fun to play than it is to fold. And it's more fun to get in on a hand cheaply thinking that you've done something. But when it comes to bankroll management and outs, you're giving yourself a more statistical advantage when people fold and you get some fold equity involved. The guy jammed his ace queen. I'd have taken it, but do I want to risk my whole stack with a pair of sixes? Now, he loves it. He's like, yeah, check this out. Watch this. He showed weakness at the end. Let me jam. Why not? Let's see it flop. Very ugly. Everybody just got to look. Oh my God, he raised. Fold. Get out of his way. Get out of his way. You have no idea what he's holding. It definitely has pair of aces. Ooh, dirty limper. I would like a 4 of clubs, please. I told you I wanted a 4 of clubs. Can I not get what I request here? They folded to me. Oh, yes. Fear me. Fear me. By the way, if I didn't make this abundantly clear, I'm dead center here on both tables. I'll just be flipping back and forth periodically. I do not think my 7-6 is worth a defend. I do not think my Jack-6 is worth a defend. And what happened over here? Oh, a sweet, nice jam to a standard raise. On the button, by the way, which is sometimes confusing to me. Now, what was the reason for his jam of the King 10? To block his opponent who had a much better pre-flop hand? Okay, I'm going to raise. We're still being cautious here. We're trying to avoid conflict if at all possible. This guy thinks that's hilarious. Okay, I'm going to make a small raise, nothing crazy. And here it is, Queen 5-9. A little bit more than half the pot. I don't think my sixes are going to hold. I'm not betting on some straight draw. I think that's a precarious position. I prefer to let that go. Now, pretty large pot. What did I hit? I raised, they called. What did I hit? What are my draws here? I'm going to call for a third of my stack on a maybe. And there we go. That will be a fold. And this will be a fold. Look at this. I mean, like, what would I do? Okay, I have a 1 in 5, an open-ended straight draw. Oof, that would have been ugly. This is more interesting. Let's see if I get any action from the early part of the board. Oh, now caller from this guy. This is always great statistics over here, by the way. So did he have his 7? Okay, so I'm going to fold at the other table as Queen Jack offsuit. Yeah, I'm going to raise it up, but I'm not going to jam it. One, there's a rainbow. Yeah, he could have a 7, but you got to take some risks here. I just told him I got it. Now, does he not believe me and want to keep getting involved because he made a min bet? Is he now emotionally attached to the hand? I'm assuming he doesn't have it, or he went on a bathroom break. The other table, how was I going to play this if I had raised? Now, in my head, I have no idea. Other table, I fold. Oh, this 4. This 4 definitely made a difference because he's on his flush draw now. And there you go. It did make a difference because that's what he was drawing out on. Now, how many times is that going to work for him? Not exceedingly often. I can put it that way. So this is still the 3 table $2 tournament. I'm going to try to enter another 9-player dollar tournament, which is what we were playing. Now, how do I feel when a guy draws out on me with a pair of 4s? Well, the guy got lucky. I rely on that guy to do that. I'm going to raise here. The challenge I've had is you have to look at it like you rely on people playing poorly because that's how you win long term. This I like. I'm gonna do a crazy bet and see if I can draw him in. Because I raised. And he's on a flush draw. He wants it. Ooh, I get some action back. So I'm going to let him leap to his death. And then I'm gonna check because I want him to bet. And that's how it rolls. You don't have to win every one. One of the things I have learned a little bit from playing years ago on Full Tilt is like they would have it was $1 buy-in on a 27 player tournament, and first place was $15 or something. So you're putting in $1, but you're making like 15 if you take first place. So you don't have to do that many times to start amassing a bankroll if you play well. Will a guy suck out with a pair of 4s? Yes. And we need that guy to play at our table, and we congratulate him, tell him thank you. It was an honor to play with him. You would like to name your firstborn after him because you want to play with a guy who's going to continue to bet with a pair of 4s against your kings regularly. King and a queen. Offsuit. Oh, now they fear me. They fear me. That's really what we like. Fear. 8 and 2. That'll be a fold. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? What are we doing there? I'll see a flop here if they'll let me in cheap. Positional advantage. I mean, yeah, I could bet, but depends on the texture of the flop and what's going on. I think if you're overly aggressive in position, players will get fed up and start pushing more marginal hands against you, which you definitely do not want. I have watched Lex enough in his videos to have a little bit better understanding of like positional advantage with a range of hands. I'm gonna raise this, and again, I get a little more stacked than some of these guys. They've seen me crack some guys, so maybe they'll believe I have ace king. Ooh, a re-raise and a caller after a limp. Okay, let's do it. Why not? Let's see a frop. That looked like a good frop. Now, are they on the flush draw? That two, he definitely has a pair of twos. Yeah. Now, what do they think I was holding? Because I did raise. And he could have busted me with the flush. The last heart did fall. But what did they think I have? And that's the thing. It's like, look at my stack size right now. And it's not like I'm a genius. I'm Lex, if you see this, I know my graphics on the last video, like I fucked up your anyway. I'll do my best, Lex. But thank you for your Pro tutorials. Would I feel comfortable raising ace-9 suited in middle position? No, I would not. Now, if I keep raising, they're gonna catch on pretty quick. So, ooh, 2 times from first. Okay, I'll call this because I'd prefer to just see a cheap flop. Did I want to raise this, hoping that this guy is gonna jam in? I got a pair of 8s. You know, like I'm willing to lose a small pot. 60 chips I can afford. Ooh, if I'd hit my 8, that's an ugly board. Am I hoping for a 9 and a 6? Can I keep going? Against 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players, I'm gonna let that go. That 8-9 is one of those things I doubt the players thought that was what I held. They probably thought I had a strong overpair or a very solid draw. Jack 10. Oh no. And the challenge is, was the guy drawing on the clubs with king, queen of clubs? Because he wants the nut flush. I don't know what the odds are. I'd have to run them of drawing the 8 on the turn and the river. I know that it's about 1 in 8 at the flop. 1 in 8 times. Think about this. 1 in 8 times you'll hit that card at the flop. Only 1 time out of 8. I notice with Lex's play, the players at that level he's at are playing a lot more of just pairs. You know, 5s, 5-5 to 9-9, that sort of thing. They're raising pretty confidently with those holdings, and I think it's part of that aggressive play because when they hit trips at the flop, it changes things, changes the statistics. I see a lot of battles over full house to flush. His jacks did not hold up. Oh, yes. So do I want to give him position on me and battle over my ace-6 offsuit? Not particularly. And as much as I love Doyle Brunson, 10-2, ooh, man. Doyle, what are you made of? You are a true Texan and a saint, sir. You are the Yoda of poker. I don't know how you play 10-2 so confidently. And it's like, well, Robert, I hit a very good flop. My 10-2 improved. That's how. Probably raise if it folds around to me. If he jams, probably gonna fold. I'm afraid of like one of these guys. See if it just thinks I'm being mean, being a bully. Rarely in poker, or less rare than you think, do you have a hand where you're like, I got the nuts. Like I know I have the best hand. There is nothing else that the person could be holding that's better than what I currently have. It's nice when it happens, but there's a lot of judgment calls about weaker holdings, especially after the flop. It's like, I don't know, the guy's got 2-2, and what happens when your AK doesn't hit? It's those sorts of things. I will bet this. Oh, I know, I'm a limp. I'm a limp. Yeah, I'm a limp from early position. Tell them I don't have something. Complain when somebody has an ace and beats me. Ooh. Now, we're likely to get some folds. If this guy calls, I'm concerned. I'm going to put this guy all in. But he limped first. Okay, so fuck this guy. If you got it, let's go. Oh, do his 10s hold up? No, they do not. And now we shall add a new tournament here. Yes. I'm gonna withhold my fury and fold my 2s from early position. Lex, if you're watching this, I know that you might be disappointed in this, but I'm working on your status, bro. It's gonna take time. Like I can't just. You got to give me time to develop like a scotch in a barrel. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not aggressive. I'm not that aggressive yet. The dollar buy-in to me still means something. I know for you, not a big deal, Lex. You could just be like, fuck it, it's only 10 grand. Fucking raise. So yeah, we're both loaded here. Oh. If he jams, I'll call. If this guy calls, ooh, I'm a little more hesitant. Do I want to see a flop? Three-handed, offsuit. Okay, I'm gonna call because I got a big stack. But here's the problem. Does he have ace 10? Let's keep the pot small, see what he does. Because I told him I had the ace. Uh-oh, it's about to get interesting. Let's see, does he keep going? Does he have ace queen? Could he have the flush? He could have king 10. He could have a flush. And he had the ace jack. Oh, wow, he drew out on me. Now, the challenge was, could I put pressure on that to be able to preserve my position? And again, it's that little bit of caution. Like, if I go jam in, he likely would have called with ace jack. Did his hand display strength calling? No, but he was hoping that I just didn't have anything, and I wound up with 2 pair. That's one of those marginal situations where I feel lucky that I didn't lose my whole stack over that. But I would have had a jack. Yes, and then you'd have to figure out if you're ahead with his all in. I am not defending my 10-5 offsuit at the other table. just to notify you guys. Let's see here. Man, ace four. I'm gonna raise. Was this guy at the other table or like what? I don't know. We'll see what happens. Well, we'll see what happens if I get any action. I'm folding jack two offsuit at the other table. They let it go. I actually prefer that. Avoiding conflict at the given moment. Yeah, I'm in third position, it looks like, at the whole table. This guy, the 44-12, is actually the top stack at the moment. So that's the sort of thing, like I was a little bit ahead, but I'd rather run into that than later in the tournament for sure. I'm gonna fold this. The other table, what I got, that would be something that needs to be folded immediately. The guy who had ace jack, like, what was he trying to accomplish? He called the guys all in. Even if he'd made a small raise, I would have let the ace nine go, and then I wouldn't have drawn the two pair. That's where there's a challenge, and we got an 8-8 versus KK over here. Oh, yes. Doesn't that guy feel like a genius? This I'll likely raise. If we get any plea flop. I love a plea flop lays. That'll be a fold. Ooh, a caller. In late position, no less. Does he call with his flush draw? Because he loves his king queen. And he does not. Does he have ace jack like the last gentleman? And gives me no information because he flat calls. Did he hit three of a kind with his pair of threes? Because he called in position. I don't know, but he let it go. And I'm a little happier about that. Unless I rivered a king, it was going to be hard to be very aggressive with that. Win the small pots. Win the big pots. But what can you lose? Well, if you got to lose pots, lose the little ones. Okay, I'm at almost a full table. I'm going to let this one go. You got to choose the positions here. Do I want to call this with queen nine in position offsuit? No, I do not. Also, guys are just calling stations. At these levels, $1 and $2 tournaments, calling station. I avoid conflict if at all possible. Lex has helped me understand the math a little bit better to just comfortably call and comfortably raise and let the chips fall where they may. But that guy had queen nine too, and it's like, well, yeah, but do you want to battle that? And do I want to raise this in early position? Not now. Did I do it earlier? Yes. Do I contradict myself? Yes. Please, for the love of God, I'm learning. If you're watching this as a YouTube tutorial of how to play $10,000 tables, don't listen. I can afford to lose $3, which is the max that I will lose if I'm unlucky at these tables. That will be a fold. Does he call? Late position. No, he didn't call. Good. Got to instill some fear, some dominance at this table. That's right. Do you ever get offended that they call you? I do. I take that shit personally. I'm like, me? You gonna raise against me? Are you crazy? Oh, yes, the flop everyone was hoping for. So who's gonna lie? Oh, do I lie now? The challenge is a lot of people are going to bet this. They're going to hold on to loose kings. I'm not super excited about my kicker. I'm going to go ahead and bet, just minimize. Like, we'll see. They may think I'm just being a bully. If I get crazy action, I'm letting this go. I'm going to bet again, hoping he didn't hit his flush. If he gets all crazy. Yeah, he had a jack. But I'm willing to lose the small ones. Don't lose the big pots. What gets even more interesting is when they let me draw to what I think is the nuts. I think I had that on a recording the other night where the guy let me draw to a full house, and it was like, I sat and thought about it because I was like, okay, there was not a lot of pre-flop, there was not a lot of action. How can I get the most chips in the pot and get this guy to call? Now, I don't particularly like this, and he's got position on me for 70. I'm gonna call here. This is not always advisable, but I'm feeling not risk averse. That is not a particularly good board. I'm gonna check it and see what he does. And he is also nervous that I'm gonna draw for my flush. I don't know. He could have any pair, but he's got to bet it. Does he know what's going on? Does he know that I did not hit? No, he does not. Does he have anything? Yes. He had an ace and a jack. That will be a fold. And then we will go over here and see if it folds around to me. I'm a little worried about this guy. I don't want this guy to jam. If I put in 300, he would just have to jam pretty much. Like he'd be all in if he's going to play. So I'm willing to risk shit. Okay, King 10 offsuit. It's only 2 times the big blind. I've got a bigger stack. I think at the moment, I'm going to sit this one out. I'm not feeling that at the moment, and that is a strictly emotional judgment. Now, how would I have felt if I'd hit this? Well, here's the problem. Does he have ace 10? Because he raised, and that's where it gets a bit tricky. And then you got to make a lot of post-flop judgments. Over here, oh, my queen 7 hit. Oh, cool. That would have been nice. If you feel like you want to play queen 7. Now, that's a little bit more than half the pot. I think. Maybe 3/4. Now, he might have been nervous that somebody drew a 10 on him. And it's funny because like right now, I think I'm in later position. And I think, I said later position, I went on the button. I'm in late position with ace-7 suited. I feel better about the ace-7 suited than I did the king 10 offsuit. Which I guess theoretically, statistically, I should. Now, 2 times the big blind. This is where I get a little confused sometimes because players will do this with like a pair of aces. I'm trying to remember what the totals are for like how often you would draw. And see, part of me wants to call. I just don't like this. There's too much loose play. I'm a little nervous about that. If you can amass a big enough of a stack to go, sure, I'll see a flop. That's great. You called right. Sure, I'll see a flop. If I'd have called with that king 10, I probably would have taken that down. But with 2 10s on the board, what does he think I'm holding? Call to raise on the button, 2 10s on the board. Even if he had jack 10, is he like, ooh, did that guy have, oh man, did he have queen 10, king 10, ace 10? And there is a board. Oh, I could have been so aggressive with my 7. My 7s were definitely good here. Put him to a question. Make him question his own sanity. King and a queen. We will let the 4 or 5 go. We will come back at the ace-3 offsuit that we folded with action on the board. Action, a lot of action. Let me see where I am in the stats. Yeah, it was actually considered pretty much top stack right there. Not by much. That guy just went up a little bit. This guy over here just moved in the first place because of that. And this is the thing, like, you know, I'd prefer, who wouldn't, you can take more risks the bigger your stack is. One of the things, I know I'm weak on this. I'll have to work on with Lex on this. I'll have to watch some videos, see if he's got some tutorials on it. What happens when I cap guys and I got a huge stack? Oh man, it's hard to play defense. Ooh, dude, I played a live tournament and got eaten alive. I had 3 times the chips of anybody else at a table. We wound up 3-handed. And those guys ate me alive because it was like I got 12,000 chips against these guys, and I go, I have 4-6 offsuit. What do I do? Fold. The guys were limping in. I felt like a whale floating around in the ocean, bloated, and sharks were just taking a chunk out of me. Because how do I fight back? That defense thing. I'm playing the edges when I watch Lex, trying to figure out, you know, when to be aggressive and when to lay back. And whew, man, that's a hard spot for me. I do not play defense well. I find it really difficult. If it's any notion, I'm same way in business. Defense? Ugh. You play defense in business? That's gross. I think I'm more offended by your defense in business than I am in poker. King and a queen, first position. Now, I think this is risky, but I want to avoid a massive confrontation. Maybe I can see a cheap flop here. And this is me, you know, changing it up a bit. It doesn't put any fear in these guys other than my stack size, but they also want to take a chunk out of me. So is it more advantageous to raise, thinking that this guy isn't going to call and this guy isn't going to shove? And this is the thing, I'm happy right now that, let's say I had raised, this guy calls, this guy shoves. Oh, I saved 200 chips. I kind of like that because I'm not calling with king, queen offsuit against what is 5 players right now. I am not calling whatever the hell this may be. Checker fold. Now, he's on the button. Normally, this is a good post-flop position. I limp. He raises. And he's like, fuck you, I got this. What does he have? He's definitely got fold equity because he's getting my 100 chips. He might get this guy's 300, but what does he have? And what would he play from that position? And the world may never know. Over here, I don't have anything I want to battle with. I am going to let this go. And then over here, oh, limpers. Limpers galore. Now, King Jack offsuit is kind of like the King 10 that I folded earlier. I get a little nervous about these holdings. There's different theories about what to do. You raise, you get some fold equity. The problem is if I just check it down, somebody could draw 3 of a kind. I am probably going to see if this guy limps. I'm probably just going to check this down and pray that the flop is Jack, Jack, King, or some component of that. Let's check this down and see what happens. And that is a pretty nice flop for my hand. And I'm going to check and allow them to be aggressive with their queen because they're beating me right now. And this, I just don't have anything to battle with. I'm going to let that go. Let's flip over to the other. Now, could he have a queen? Could he be on a flush draw? Yes, but it's only 100 chips on a 350 pot. Now I got my jack. Now I'm going to lead out and say, ooh, maybe you don't have it. Maybe I got my jack. And I'm going to throw more money on top of bad because he's going to call with his queen. And he had it. But do you see the trying to minimize? Because I can't make him let go of king queen. If I had raised, would I be in a better position? Because if you can't be aggressive after the flop, that's where I personally, this is me, I get into some trouble there. This looks more interesting. I'm folding my 2-4 offsuit on the other board, by the way, just so you can keep track of this action. Oh yeah, fold that. Oh yes. Now, late position-ish, not, well, middle position, 2 times the big blind. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to up this, and here's what I'm trying to do. Somebody jams, I'm likely going to let it go. This 2 times the big blind could be a bluff. He could say, fuck you, I got aces. He's got a question now whether I actually have something, which also did not hit, which I'm not fond of. However, we will now make a substantial bet, say that we have it, and hooray, he didn't call with fucking king 6 offsuit because he just likes that. Aha! Now, I raised heavy. Let's go to the other board real quick. I don't think this is good enough. I don't want to deal with that. I'm going to go back over here. Now I'm going to bet 3/4 of the pot. Oh, fuck it. Let's just go all in. Fuck it. I got the ace. Let's see if he got it. Does he got me? He does. Now, what was the real issue with him betting ace queen that way? Right now I'm thinking about it. I don't even remember what my hand was. And let me see, what time is it? Okay, let me see if there are other little dollar tournaments. What did I even have? I forget. I had ace. No, he had ace queen. He drew out on. Anyway, we lost. I can't do a bunch of post-hand analysis when I can't remember what I was holding. Let's see here. There we go. Pair of threes. I'm going to bet. Don't like it, but we'll see what happens. I will call probably if he folds, and I'll call. Let's see what happens. Does he hit his king or his jack? And he does not. It'll be interesting to go back and look at that other hand. I'm going to have to check that out. So he bet 2 times the big blind. I raised, but I can't remember what I was holding. That's interesting. To me, at least. And on this is a 3-table tournament, 27 players. I'm doing quite well, got a decent stack. We took that down. Let me see where I am in the placings here. It looks like I'm in 3rd. There are 2 stacks, I think, at the other table who are cleaning up. But once I get to 10th position, there is money to be made. So 10 or higher. I kind of wish I would have seen a flop with that. That looks kind of nice. That would have been nice. It was still a flush draw, but rainbow, that would be nice. Knowing when to be aggressive. So did the guy have he had ace queen? Did he hit 2 pairs? Is that what it was? Anyway. That's that 2 times the big blind thing. Some guys, I think they think it's inordinately smart to play that way, and I think one of the things I've noticed, final table, people clam up because they're trying to go up into money. Sometimes queens, queen, queen, king, king, ace, ace. Sometimes I will bet 2 times the big blind or limp from early position to try to get someone to jam because they're trying to prevent somebody coming in with a better hand. Final table, the stakes are higher. King and an 8. You got to watch me lose and get destroyed. I don't think it's worth fighting, not in early. Even though I'm big stack, I can sit and be a little more patient. Hyper aggressive just isn't my forte. When you're aggressive, you have to make a lot of post-flop decisions. Here we go at our other tournament. Oh yeah. Ace king. Hey, nice. It is 9. Hey, not bad. The AK guy's a little annoyed right now. And I don't think that is good enough. I will see now. Are we on the other screen? Yes, we are. 2 to 5. Let's do this. Let's play. Play some poker. Raise. First position raise. Here's the challenge. We just got started. I'm going to go ahead and call this, but I really dislike my position on the board. I prefer king, queen to king 10. The other table here, somebody raises while I call with this. And they're betting into a bigger stack. They know they're betting into a bigger stack. Over here, what, I'm going to call this? Come on, dude. 6-7, this guy raised. Fuck. I'm going to let this go. I don't even like the pair on the board. Oh, this is a small move at the pot. Should I call? Well, I mean, it's only half my stack. I could definitely afford this. No, I'm going to lose the small pots, win the big ones. And we're about to go to the final table. People tend to clam up here. They tend to clam up as we're going to the final table because up to player 10 will make a little money. In the money, we're in the money. Now, I like this a lot better because I'm in position here. I'm going to raise. It wasn't a huge raise. They could have limped with aces. I could be way behind. Somebody could catch. Like, it's like, what do I do? Well, depends on the table, depends on the situation, depends on what's going on. But I normally don't want to play king, queen against 4 other people, even though I have the king of diamonds. And I get a half the pot bet. So the likelihood is one of them's got an ace. I can call to try to get my 10, which is a 1 in 10, I think. I'm going to fold 5-7 offsuit at the other table. If I call, I could hit another diamond. I could hit a 10. But I'm really worried at this stage that one of them... Oh, great. That was nice. Well, it folded me out, but yeah, it hit my 10. Here's the problem. Did one of them have ace jack or ace 10? And then they're going to get a flush or something else. Because I didn't like this board. Oh, man, that's rough. That would have been nice. But I was worried about that ace. And what do they have? Because we're going to find out in a second. 40? Come on, bro. What are you even playing? There we go. Now, who's going to bluff it? Ah, somebody was bluffing the card I had. How risk averse to be is one of the things that I'm trying to slowly figure out. Like, man, how many times are you going to draw that 10? And then how many times are you going to draw that diamond at the river? And I don't know the odds on that, but I didn't feel favorable about it. And it sucks when it happens, but over the course of a poker lifetime, how many times will you be happy that you folded? And how many times will you be happy that you called? My tea is gone. The other table, they're waiting to try to get us to a final table. They're letting the other table finish to see if somebody goes out. Looks like somebody just took down a pot over here. I have a jack and a 7 on the other table. I am folding. I have a king and a 5 here. I'm going to fold. Do not care for Dolly Parton. No, I love Dolly Parton. Let me be clear about that. 9 to 5 is the nickname sometimes for Dolly Parton. So this is a challenge. 2 times the big blind. What's going on and what has he got? It's more likely to me that he's got something marginal and he's just trying to get the blinds because they're trying to prevent a confrontation and I'm moving after him. Ooh, now this, I'm not sure if anybody has anything. This could be ugly. That is one way to play King Queen. So we made the money. The real money doesn't start until about place 5, which is like 486. I'm gonna hang out, maybe be a little bit conservative depending on what I see here. I'm probably just gonna check this down if they'll allow me. If this guy jams in, then I got a question. Check. I'll go with that. Let's see a flop. But I could draw a 6. Well, I mean, you could. Well, I could draw a 9. Well, you could. And this guy could have ace 3. A straight draw, a flush draw, yeah. And do I want to keep going against the big stack over here? That would be 8. No, I will let it go. You have your chip, sir. That will be a fold. This background changes because it's a final table. 700, that's a pretty scary bet. It's an interesting amount. It pretty much says I got this. If you call, I'm going all in. Due to his stack size. Oh yeah, pair of kings. Show you. I'm gonna show you. I raise. Look at what I got. I have a tendency to not show because I don't want to give the players more information. I don't think it's as important on Bovada because you can't really track who's who. Fairly anonymous, and since everybody's a number, it doesn't even have a face. When you play the same guys again and again and again, you get pattern recognition for how they play. Very deadly. I don't like this. I don't, I'm in the between all these stacks. Do I want to avoid confrontation for the time being? Go a little bit up in the money. Yes, I don't think my 5-9 is good, so I'm going to let that go. Really more interested at this big table. What's going to happen here? Guys tend to clam up. They don't want to lose money. They don't want to go out. You can really take advantage of this if you start getting, man, like you have a 2,000 stack here at this table. You get a pair of 8s, jam. Pair of 10s, jam. You only have to double up once or twice to really put a dent at this table, and these guys are afraid of going out, which means you're probably going to get some fold equity. They're going to let shit go. 2 guys just chopped it on the other table with ace jack. This here, I'm going to fold. Excuse me. Now, the statistics, when you're four-handed, what are you worried about? Man, you're leaving yourself to massive issues. You'll notice pros, they're trying at least to isolate it down to 2 players because there's less variables. I mean, what if this dude has a pair of 8s and he's being aggressive and he draws an 8 at the river? Now, some guy's got a pair of queen, but it's like 3 of a kind, but his full house cracks it. It's that sort of stuff that players are trying to minimize risk. Not get rid of it because it's poker. Now, 600, ace and an 8 suited. If these guys fold, is it strong enough to go over these mountains? Because if I bet 600, he's pretty much all in if he's going to call. This is one of those things where it's questionable to me, and for now, I'm just going to play conservative, which I know is totally exciting for my YouTube channel. I'm a little worried about confrontation because it's putting him all in, and he can pretty easily call. Now, what do I do? Not saying that it wouldn't have been good to raise, by the way, but I would have some hard post-flop decisions to make. Do I think my jack N5, that's suited, do I want to call for 60 chips to see a flop out of position, hoping that I get a flush draw that will get beat or a 2 5s and a jack? I will fold. And I am pretty much glad that I did, because I'm not going to draw for that 10. We're on the big screen. See, and I put it more to this side because this side has less moles than this side. This side has more moles. We have a limper. I'm not sure exactly what's going on right here. I'm going to do him a favor because I don't want to battle him with my 4-7 suited. Now look at this. Look at this. Who's got it? All right, min bet, double min bet. Oh yeah, call, 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 call. Who got it? Ooh, pressure. Some anger, some aggression. Very aggressive. Ah, let some guy draw to his flush. Nice. And I'm gonna fold that 2-5 because I don't care to fight that battle. Oh, we're gonna hold a break for 5 minutes. Let's go back over here. But I could have had another. Well, yeah, you could have, but the guy got a pair of 7s. Oh, and you just hit quads. He cracked you. But I would have had a full house. Well, yeah, I mean, it does happen. The problem is, how do you bet on it pre-flop? Knowing that this is the hand. This is my time. I'm going to fold and take a quick bathroom break, but you guys can sit and enjoy all. I'm also a big fan of just winning enough to cover your losses. So like if I made $4 and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So I got a couple buy-ins, you know. This is very, very much to me, this is slow growth. You know, if I'd have played King 4, do I think I'm ahead with that board? Am I worried about draws? Yes. Very, very, very concerned about that if you're me. Ugly. Ugly, ugly board. Who You have a question. Very aggressive. Man, I almost want to review that hand because I don't even understand what that guy was doing. Now this I'm going to raise. If I get a no, that's not a raise, that's a limp. I don't like the fact that I'm not suited, but I am going to raise this. I've been experimenting in some positions with making a 5 times the big blind raise. It's a little more respected. If this guy calls, I don't want to play ace queen 3-handed, but I'm trying to figure out if I should jam my whole stack. There we go. Don't have to. Do we chop it? Nope. It's not a very glamorous way of taking a pot, but it worked. Oh, I'm about to sneeze. Oh, let me mute my mic. Whew. So Kristen Lumsden figured out that there was a thing to like mute. I had no idea these microphones could be muted. But when I went to the restroom, I was like, wait, did I leave the microphone on? You don't want to pull a Frank Drebin. Frank Drebin, police squad. Yeah. Miss Leslie Nielsen, man. The Naked Gun was pivotal. That and an airplane. Yeah. 21 seconds at the other table. We'll be back up. 5 and an 8. I will let that go. Not super excited. Interesting to see what's going to happen here. What is going on? What's going on at the table? Ooh, solid. He bet, he raised. Fear him. And let's see. 8 and a 6. I will not be defending with that. But you can see as the blinds go up, this tournament structure puts pressure on people to make a move. This guy with 1174, he's got to make a choice real soon. He just doesn't have anything left to fight with. Now, I said I got to get at least a place 5 where I feel like I'm actually getting some real money on this. But right now, I'm fortunate that I just made the table. We make some money. Compared to this morning, happy. Not particularly feeling this. Maybe somebody will limp and let me see a cheap flop. Ooh, what's going on over here? This is a big stack clashing with another big stack. Who's being aggressive? He just let it go. And over here, I just, on the button, come on, man. I'm going to defend. I just don't think that's a good play at all. Not for me. Lex, if you're out there and you see this, you're like, what are you doing? You have fold equity. I'm like, but what do I do now, Lex? I don't understand. Uh-oh, got a jam. I don't know exactly what the statistics are, but the 8s definitely outgunned him. Ooh, okay, does it fold around to me? Because I'm going to have a judgment call here. Limp. Oh, now, do you want to put your stack in on a pair of 8s when he could be limping? So here's what I'm going to do, okay? And I got to make a pre-flop decision. I want to get at least to position 5. At the other table, I got 7-10 offsuit. I'm going to fold. I'm going to check this and pray that I hit a goddamn 8. Oh my God. Now I'm going to check and I'm going to let them bet into this shit and I'm going to jam my stack in. And is he going to check again? Don't check. Okay, I have a full house. I'm going to bet half the pot to lie to them and tell them I got a 4 and see if they let it go. Too nervous. But how was I going to make it pay? Now, it would have been even more awesome if I'd have raised before the flop and actually hit that. But again, it's only 1 in 8 times, and that's where I get a little nervous. That's where it's like management, right? So king, queen offsuit, I'm likely going to raise. If I get any crazy movement from him, I'm likely to let it go. but I'd like to see a flop with this. There we go. And I'm much happier with them that. I'm letting that go. What is going on at this other table over here? Oh, jack and a 9, okay. That I will let go. My 2-4 did not hold up. Man, I wish I could have crushed somebody with that full house. But sometimes, you know, they're limping like a really wide range of hands. I can't say that they're afraid, but like when that other 4 hits, there's too likely that I hit something, you know, 2 pair. It was kind of a murky board. That will be a fold. What the hell is going on at this other table? Like, was my 8 ahead here? So this sort of draw, if I would have hit this, man, are you going to risk half your stack just to try to draw for 1 in 5? Because I think you have a 1 in 5 chance on the turn and the river. 1 in 5 of hitting that open, and you hit it. Whoa, man, that would have been nice. But like 2-5, whew. I mean, it happens, but you can almost guarantee if somebody had an ace, they're going to want to go. But are they nervous that, like, he was, oh my God, he bet that? Oh shit, did he have a 2 and a 5? That will be let go. And here on our other table, I will not be aggressive with my king 3 offsuit. We only have to get to 3 players on this to make any money, which I think is like 70 cents. 70 cents, bro. Yes. Invest that shit in Bitcoin. It's going to go through the moon. Yeah. 70 cents. Yes, how we roll. Think we're messing around over here? Mm-mm. That will be a fold. And you'll notice, have you noticed at this table how much it's like slowed down? Like, we're getting closer in the money. People are clamming up because they're waiting for the spot where they can jam in and hopefully cap a guy. Because people are going to go out. I don't particularly, like, I wonder about small stack with that sort of shit. And it's like, are they just trying to see a cheap flop to figure out if they can jam? I like the after the flop jam, but ooh, hey. Well, that was a good way to bust your ass out. So fold here, go here, ace 7. 2 bigger stacks downstream. I'm going to fold. And then what I've called raise with it out of position. Yeah, it wouldn't have been a wonderful flop, that's for sure. See, like, okay, what does it say? They know I'm on the big blind. Nobody wants to make action. I want to see a flop. I'm going to come in. So we're praying that we hit 2 4s and an 8. And I got a 4. And here's the problem. They could be on a diamond flush draw. They could have a 10, which is very likely. I'm going to let this go. I don't think the 4 is worth fighting for, and I don't have the right color cards. And no flush draws there. I'm going to check this down. Again, not a real hugely draw heavy board for me. Like, would my 4s be enough there? I don't know how much of my stack I want to risk on that. And then here, I just don't, I mean, what am I going to try to draw? Hope it's king. They don't have a king. Hope I get a 10. Ooh, what happened here? Early position jam. I can understand why now. Oh, now made it to 5th position. Got a little bit of money. Might start to open it up just a little bit. And I don't like being bottom stack, but you may be amazed what an all-in does at this level, because you can take half a guy's stack. Proportionately, you know, he's got to only win once, but if I take half of his stack out from under him, that's really rough. Would I draw to the 9, which a gut shot is a 1 in 10 shot, by the way. 1 in 10. 1 in 10 times on average. Over here, okay, well, I could draw an ace, a 2, and a 4. I mean, you could, but you're also in the worst position on the board. What? Man, I had a 3 and a 5. We could have battled over that. But I would have had a straight. Yeah, but the guy's got a jack. Well, they didn't bet like they had a jack. Yes. But would you limp with a hand with the jack? Oh, yes. And now, now the pressure's on. 4,000 in the pot. Everything about this says I got a jack. Or I'm bluffing the jack. I'm surprised. Maybe I misjudged what was going on here. Oh, somebody had it, and I went up in the markings there. Thank you for giving me 4th place. Now, I don't like this right here, and I'm going to go back to the other table, and I go, a call. I'm on the button. Let's see a flop. If somebody jams, then we might get out of the way. Now, at the other table, what would this have looked like? Well, I hit my, and I'm like, yeah, you did, but you got 2 guys after you. Uh-oh. Now, I will call this because I want to make you question your sanity and why you're only betting 150 on a draw heavy board for the full house that you just got. I'm going to draw to my flush. Yes! Now I got it, except he's got Jack 10. I'm going to call. And I could have been more aggressive with that, but I was a little nervous about what he might have been holding. And again, Lex, forgive me, I'm training here. Now, do you see how weird it is? I'm like super conservative, and then I'm like, well, damn it, I got 6-7 suited. Let's fucking do this. Like, I gotta keep them on their toes a bit. You gotta take some risk, make a guy wonder what you actually had. If you just fold all table, you get eaten up alive at these online tables. Eaten alive. So 2-9, no. Oh, interesting. I was looking at the board. I had 2-9 on both boards. I folded at the other. Usually when I have 2-9, I fold. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but. And then they bet 2 times the big blind. Now, they're trying to get in to see a cheap flop. Do I want to be aggressive? Come on now. And they know what they're doing. Like, there's a strategery behind this. But do I want to bluff the 2 now? Because he just drew the 2 because he's got ace 2. Well, you could, but what do you got? What do you got to back it up if somebody calls? And that's what the problem is. I'd rather check it down and just lose the blinds. Because once I finally choose a hand... Oh, his 10 took it. Over here, do I want to call 6-8 in position? I will fold. And here, what's going on? Let's see. I'm going to jam, and he may call, and I may lose, but that's just poker. And he could say, he's being weak. Oh, maybe he's got a pair of aces. Oh, I don't know. What's going on? What do you think? Am I hit? It only takes half my stack. I could call with my 10. And I'm pretty happy just to take the blinds. Now, what happens if I raise with that and he calls with some sort of draw heavy hand? Now, I think this is, again, I'm willing to go out here if I have to. I don't want to play this after the flop, and I'm praying they didn't get King Jack or some shit. I am not calling with this. I do not. like it at all. I almost misclicked. You did not want to see that. Now, I jammed. Am I going to jam into a guy's stack and he's got 3 times as much as I do? No. I'm going to fold this, and that may not hold up theoretically. It may be something that I need to raise, but I don't feel comfortable with that right now. I'm also on the button, not going to raise this into a guy with a much larger stack. Ooh, but Robert, we would have had, oh my God, I would have had a 1 in 5 chance of drawing an 8 or a king. Except that some guy limped a pair of jacks. But we could have had, oh, I could have had, I would have had, well, he had the ace. That was a problem. King and a 5. And I will fold that. And I will particularly not be being aggressive from the big blind with my 2 kicker right here. Oh, now the mountain. Ooh, at 2 times the big blind. Now, yeah, now he's playing the game. Now, if I jam, he's got a judgment call. Do I want to jam with my 2? No, I do not. And also do not want to play with my 2 and my 8. I will give them the blinds. Ooh, a limp. Real strength. To get into a lot of post-flop questionable situations. I have no idea what's going on over here. I am, in fact, going to fold. But I would have had an 8 high flush. Okay. Now who's ahead? And these are those after the flop turn, river bets, judgment calls. They kept the pot small, you know. I am not going to do anything with that. I am not super excited about this, though. Let's see a flop. What does he do? We limp. Does he get aggressive? Does he raise? Because if you raise, I'll fold. No, let's see a flop. And you got a jack. Now I'm going to bet 100. I'm gonna say I got it. And does he bet? He does not. But I would have had a pair of kings. Well, yeah. Except now what do? Ew. Is somebody's kicker better than mine? Now, limp, I'm going to raise, but I'm not going to get overly attached here. I don't really like this 2 times the big blind. I actually, in this position, nobody has done anything. It's going all in. If they've got it, they're going to have to fucking take it from me on this one. On the other table, they let it go. Good. I've got this. I'm going to assume he has a pair of aces, jam it all in, and see if he calls. To crack me with it. Well, apparently he did not have the aces because he did not call. Now, 4-handed, king 3 suited. This is one of those things, do I want to jam to try to take 800 extra chips? Or what I'm going to do is just check it and see if I hit a flop. And I do not, because there is no flush draw, there is no king, and there is that dirty, dirty ace. But I could have had a flush. Wait, no, you couldn't. You don't have any clubs. I'm going to let it go because the big stack would like that. I will let go of Dolly Parton. I will check or fold a 7 and a 3 because I am not super excited. Let me see what I'm at. 4th place. What is that? I have made $5.94. Ooh, take that. For 3rd place, it goes to $7.56. I like that a little better. I'm going to check the 3-7 over there. I'm going to not bet this Jack 5 because I don't have anything. But I could draw a king. Well, you could, but He did not have anything worth getting involved in. Okay, buddy? I'm going to call this with okay, buddy? No, I'm not. Now, here's my challenge. Four-handed. If I was heads up, I'll play this. My challenge is there's 3 people after me. They believe my raises. What I jam, I raise, I get a call or I get a flop. I don't think it's strong enough. I'm just going to let it go. I am back. I wasn't even going. I was talking to my fans and audience here. 2 and a 4. What do I want to do? I think I'm going to fold. But, oh man. But I get a flush. Well, 4 or 5? Okay. I mean, if you want to take that bet, I want to sit at a table with you and play. This is interesting. Pretty significant raise here. Like what? Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's going. I'm gonna fold, but I wonder like what he had, because he's got a big stack too. Now we're down to 3-handed. I've made 70 cents. Oh yes, money. Both tables. That's right. Now I'm gonna be very aggressive with the 6-2. No, I'm not. Now what is this shit? This is always who's lying to who. I'd prefer one of them to take the other out so I go up in the money. King and a 4. I'm not playing that. What's going on here? 7 and an 8 offsuit. I wouldn't mind seeing a flop with it, but if you bet even that kind of shitty bet, well, 4 times the big line, I'm not calling with it. Oh, and that will be a get the fuck out of their way. And now you got a decision to make. And there we go. And the jacks take it. Woo! I'm not, this guy ain't happy. But now I got a problem, because do I want to be, oh no, I do not want to be aggressive. This guy just, yeah, establish some dominance here at the table. I'm going to very passively bow out of this situation. I don't know what the fuck is going on, and I don't want to know. On the other table, I have 9-2 offsuit. I'm folding. So here, imagine if I would have called here. What is this? But I have a 1 in 10 shot of what? I'm going to, I'm going to raise here. Wait, no. Okay, hold on. Let me take that back. He raised. I'm in the small blind. I'm going to fold this. I don't like this position with what's going on right here. And my flop would have not boarded well for sure. Now, here's the challenge. I don't want to go out, but I got a small stack and a big stack. If I'm going out, I guess we're going to go in a blaze of glory, because if we're going to play ace-9 offsuit, that's about the only way to play it. Oh. Now, am I tight enough that they're like, he's only playing premium holdings? God damn it. Now, you're like, but you just did it. I'm like, yeah, but I just did it, and they don't want me taking the blinds again, and I got to push into a guy with a 17,000 stack. I'm going to fold, because I'm really worried about this guy. When I say I'm worried, what I mean is he wouldn't take a stack out of me, but I think one of these other guys may call that. He got a huge stack. He can call with almost anything. Yep, almost anything. Woof. So over here, now what? I'm going to fold. I'm also very fixated on this table because there's more money involved. I'd like to see a limp. There we go. Let's see a flop. Now, he bets, do I call? I'm going to call 1 time. And I'm not calling anymore. I'm not going for a jack. I'm glad that he lets me draw a free card. He knows that I didn't hit. He's going to make a small bet. I'm going to let it go. It's not a play of strength. It's a play of passivity, and you'll see how it worked out. Didn't get anything. Now I'm getting short. This guy's going to start leaning. Ooh, ugly, ugly. I'm not calling with that either. Oh, we're about to go heads up over here. This guy got wiped out. I didn't notice that. Nope, he got it. Not strong enough. Not strong enough. No. That may be a bit absurd mathematic. It may just be at a point where I just need to jam. I'm so short. Here is where things get more complex, where I'm going, okay, so I'm going to get out of the way because these guys are going to battle and I don't particularly want to battle with them. So 2 limpers on my Jack 4. I'm going to check. And there's a whole lot of poker moments like this where it's like, what do? You got to pick a spot and just jam it in and pray. Now here is where it's more interesting. I'm going to raise this. Don't particularly like my position, but we'll see what happens. I'm going to bet half the pot and see how he responds. And good, he let it go. Over here, okay, so what does it say? But I've got a flush draw. Yeah, you do, but you don't have anything left to draw on that one card that you pray that you'd get. Oh, but I would have had a straight. Well, yeah, but somebody got a flush. Let's see what happens over here, by the way. Okay, now, pair of 10s. I'm going to raise this. I'm not super excited about this hand, but I'm hoping they let it go. Now, what does Big Stack here do? Because he can call. He has a big stack. He can take the risk. He can tell me that I'm over. So I'm going all in. I don't know what the fuck you got, but I ain't battling this shit unless it's after the flop. And there we go. Does he get a king or a queen? No, he does not. And we go back to the real action over here. Do I want to fucking get involved with Queen Jack offsuit? And that is a no, which I folded out. The other table, I'm letting a Jack 7 offsuit go because I just acquired a big stack and we can try to wipe out the other guy. So here's the deal. At some point I got to shove. I don't like this hand. I don't feel like I'm in a position. I'm really hoping one of these guys fucks up and takes the other one out so I move up 1 in the money. The other table I had 2-4. I'm folding that. This may be it. Oh, 9 and a 2. Now, some people would probably say I should shove. I'm going to let it go. Mathematically, I probably should. There's just no wiggle room at all. But you're praying with that hand. This is better. So if I get a raise, I'm probably jamming. I don't think there's room to do much here. Could I stay alive? The problem is I have so little in way of chips that I think this is time. This is it. Got his ace. Well, good game. Made it to 4th place. 594. Now, when I go to the other table here, here is the challenge. Got a queen. Do we bet it? Probably. They limped in. Split 3/4 of the pot. See what they do. Wasn't super happy with my placement. I'm glad I made something on the other table, but you know, that's me. So here's where things get even more interesting. So I got a queen. They could have limped with a stronger queen, but I bet pretty strong. I'm going to bet again. No frush. I'm going to check. I'm a little nervous that one of the assholes had a 9, which they did not. Because I'm in the small blind, I'm going to let this go. See, I only made $5.94. I'm annoyed. It's like you tripled your money, man. What do you want? I'll raise here. Like if he jammed, I'd have a questionable thing. If he calls, that's different. So 1,400. I'm gonna call this. Oh, good Lord. Well, I'm not sure what was going on there, but okay. That worked out better than the other board, and I'm pretty much all in. Let's do this. I mean, you could have it. Does my king hold up? And it does. Now, the combination of those two, I feel good. Feel good about winning on both. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll put a little bit of a reference, probably a link to Lex Veldhuis. I think I'm saying his name right, down below. There'll also be some little bit of information on the screen where you can follow him on Instagram or Twitch, I think. TikTok, Twitter. Anyway, he's all over social media. Thank you guys very much. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you again very, very soon.